Amass restaurant in Copenhagen, taking you live. We're going to eat some plants today. I've been sitting in the empty dining room at Amass for the last 6 weeks on a daily basis, looking at the garden outside. And dreaming about cooking with what's out there. At one point I was a bit panicked because I thought everything was going to grow and go to seed and we weren't going to get to use it. But due to Facebook Live, we're going to get to use some of it for the first time. This is actually the first stuff we've had out of the garden this year. So we're going to take a little walk. I'm going to explain some of the things we're going to use, how flavor, a lot of the flavors, these sweet, these sour, these bitter flavors that we as chefs strive for, a lot of times we'll use sugar or salt or vinegar or citrus to create these flavors. All these flavors can be found in plants as well. So come with me, we'll take a stroll through the garden.
You'll fall.
I'll fall as well, just to make it feel better. All right, so one thing that is cabbages come first, and it's been so warm, so early that the cabbages have gone to flower. A lot of them are shooting. Cabbages right now have this perfect balance of sweetness. Pick some cabbage shoots. We're gonna pick some with flowers on them, some without flowers on them. We're gonna go for the tops. The ones that are flowering, you're gonna get a lot of sweetness from these. The ones that quite aren't flowering, you're gonna get this nice cabbage flavor. Probably gonna pick too many. Beyond excited to be out here actually using the plants. Another thing, so one thing I should say you'll notice in the garden here is that we do a lot of companion planting, and that means that we're actually planting plants together for beneficial reasons. Some plants are super delicious, but little animals and pests don't like them, i.e. nasturtiums, someone likes to eat. And by doing this, you prevent the plants from actually hitting. We have guests. All right, so perfect example. One thing that I really love about this garden is that even though we're not even open for business, there's constantly people out here. You can pan over, Christian, show it off a little bit.
Case in point.
Hello. Hello. And I love. Say hi. I love this neighborhood. I love the people out here. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to open the restaurant here. Everyone thought we were crazy for wanting to open out in Refshaleøen. But taking that chance, the community out here is amazing. All right, so we're gonna move on to a little bit of fennel. So right now we have green fennel and bronze fennel growing in the garden. These are what you're looking for, these tight little new shoots right here. The licorice flavor on these are unbelievable. This is where we're gonna get the sweetness in the dish. Then as you move up with them, when they get a little bit bigger, they'll go from a bit sweeter to a bit more anisey and kind of medicinal in flavor. All right, we are done with this box.
Moving on.
All right, our loose sticky. This is gonna be our bitter flavors. Tastes like celery, green celery, but has a bit of bitterness to it. Which I think goes great. I love this with the fennel, the sweetness and the bitterness together. But because it's bitter and we just want hints of it, we're not going to go crazy on it. So just a few pieces here and there on the dish. All right, the garden, we have mugwort growing. Mugwort is an herb they actually used to brew beer with before they used hops. So right now the mugwort, eating a kilo of mixed herbs in one session of our game is not an uncommon practice. All right, so we're gonna go to another one of my favorite herbs out here. So borage flowers. Borage is kind of known for having a really intense cucumber flavor. Something that I learned last year, actually when I was with, I was cooking with Doug down in Silo in the UK, is that if you take the stems of this, like this is not, if you just take literally the thick stem here, you puree that, you add an egg to it, you emulsify oil into it, it tastes exactly like oysters, like an oyster emulsion. I was really blown away by that. Thank you, Doug. So we'll pick a few of these, scatter over the top. Again, these are kind of cucumber, a bit of sweetness to them. There we go. All right. These empty beds right here, we do a kids program every year called the Amass Green Kids. So these are their beds right here that they planted. Unfortunately, due to certain circumstances, that will probably not happen here. First year since we've opened. All right. So another perennial that we have, calendulas. By far, I think this flower only second to marigold flowers for me as my favorite flower. These flowers, because the petals are so, I would say, robust, juicy, you get a lot of sweetness, and it's actually a flower that has flavor. A lot of people use flowers because they look pretty. We actually will never put a flower on the plate unless it actually has flavor to it. Take a few of these, sprinkle over the top. All right, I wish we had marigolds because they are my favorite flower. All right, another plant that it's a very good chance you have them growing in your garden. I know my wife's parents do, is orpin or St. Henswood. This for me is so juicy. It's like an ice plant almost, and it tastes like acidic green peas. Oh, hello, friend.
There we go.
So we don't kill a lot of pests in here because we kind of, our philosophy is that everything living out here plays a role in the ecosystem. So yes, I'm just gonna put you right there. If you find your way back to a plant, great, you earned it. If not, even better. All right, a few leaves of orpin. There's some juiciness, some acidity. All right. So we have spearmint here as well. This is going to take the dish in a completely different direction. This is kind of one of those flavors you'll taste. You're like, whoa, what is that? And we're only going to put a few in here because you put too much spearmint in, anything really strong like that, it's just gonna linger on your palate and you're just gonna taste it every bite you take. So, moving on. Ooh, yes. Onion flowers, or onion crest flowers. These right now, super nice. The crest leaves are really nice when they're super small, but if your restaurant's not open and you're not using them and you let them and you have to let them go to flower, the flowers are equally delicious. A bit milder. When the leaves on these plants, these grow everywhere. I'm sure they're probably grown in your garden as well, or at least on the path you walk on every day. When the leaves are big, they're a bit bitter, not super nice. So either small, wait for the big to pass, and pick the flowers. All right. One thing I know we have a lot of growing is sorrel. So again, as you can see, we have sorrel growing, but we also have it growing amongst ground elder. I love, everyone likes small sorrel leaves, but I really love to just bite into a massive sorrel leaf. It's crazy that acidity exists in nature. All right, a few of these. I love acidity on dishes like this because you're gonna get a lot of green, grassy flavors, sweetness. You get this acidity, and that acidity actually acts as a seasoning where it just lifts all the other flavors of everything else. a lot of these plants exist in wild form. That if you go out walking in the woods, you'll be able to find these. There's a few people out there that are giving kind of guided walking tours of wild plants where all these flavors exist as well. We're lucky enough, fortunate enough to have a garden where we can actually cultivate them and grow them. But if you're looking for someone to actually give you a tour and kind of guide you along the way, a couple of avenues you can go. Thomas Larson or Wild Fooding does really cool food tours, wild food tours, and then there's an app called Vilmel Wild Food that you can also use to look at finding plants with these same flavors that we're picking. All right, sorrel's picked. Check this out. The first of the black currants on their way. Unfortunately, not yet. But we grow loads of currants out here, raspberries. Let's see. I know there's something else out here that would be delicious. Oh yes, yes. So, mosh flowers. Again, I like to leave things in bunches like this because if you have something where it releases a bit of liquid, being juicy, I just think the flavor is transferred so much better. So we're gonna pick it just a couple tops like this, in bunches, keep them together, so you have that juiciness when you take a bite of it, and it's not just something that kind of gets lost in your mouth while you're eating. Oh, and right in front of you, Christian, is parsley. The parsley that grows in this garden, maybe I'm biased because it's my restaurant, but I think it's some of the best parsley that I've ever had in my life. We are super fortunate that we are basically right on the ocean. So that's the one thing we see around us. We're right on the ocean. So a lot of the herbs are I mean, you can just say they're kind of seasoned. They have this salty aspect to it that just makes them super delicious. It's like adding, anytime you season something, it just lifts the flavor of it. This is what's happening with this parsley here. Alrighty, this will be the last thing we pick. We're gonna go back inside. We're gonna get this stuff washed. We're gonna wash our hands. And we're gonna go for it. Alright, let's do it. Follow me. Actually, follow you. Hello.
I guess.
If you guys, there's some wood right there if you want to. Yeah. Yeah. that's what we're doing right now. Yeah. Definitely. So we. Yeah, I own the place. Yeah. We are. Yeah. We are hoping to produce tonight or tomorrow or Friday. Yeah. But I think it's. From what I've heard among people, it's going to be. Yeah. So maybe at least it's outside. Exactly. And we are lucky enough to have this space to do it. Exactly. I've been sitting in the dining room every day for the last 6 weeks, looking at the garden grow, just going, "Oh, we need to cook."
And when you're usually open, what are these for? Just for your guests?
Yeah, we light them every night and come out from the dining room, sit around the fire, and drink wine and hang out. Yeah. Enjoy. So, mustards. These gonna pop up everywhere. I know. I was out here. There it is, right here. I know there was some really. So purple curly mustard. Go. This is great. It's super spicy. And mustard, it's a bit early for mustards right now, but you can see we have some popping up that were left kind of from last year. The thing about this garden is because we're so close to the ocean, the environment's a bit harsh out here, is that the things that grow and do come back so strong and so delicious. So if they come back as a perennial, we leave them for the next year, because every year they come back, they just get more delicious and more robust in flavor. All right. Okay, now I promise. That was the last step. Now we're going inside. I cannot wait until we have people back in the building. There's something about when you don't have people in the building for a long time, you just really, you miss that energy of bodies. Alrighty, here we go. So, we're gonna take our herbs, nice cold water, dump them in. You can zoom on that beauty for a second, Christian.
There we go.
Alrighty, so I like herbs in and out, not too long. If the herbs are really fresh, they don't need that long. If they're not really fresh, they need longer. So we're just gonna spin the water out of these. Empirical Spirits hooked us up with hand sanitizer. Smells like booze. Kind of want to drink it, but don't. All right. So we have our herbs. A mixture of our herbs. Don't worry, whatever we don't use, I will definitely eat after we are off camera. So this already to me is a meal. Really looks like a meal. You see sourness, sweetness, bitterness, saltiness, savory. All right, so what I made here, so at Amass, we have a very aggressive profile in the sense of we just want to work responsible, taking care of our products constantly, taking into context the whole entire product. So at the end of last season, we had a bunch of tomatoes that were kind of overripe, bruised, stuff like that. We cut them up, we dried them, we make an oil out of it. With that oil, we make a mayonnaise. So this is basically a tomato mayonnaise or a tomato emulsion. Oh. Down on the plate. You can't use too much of this. All right, so now we're gonna start to kind of assemble things. I think when you're putting stuff down, what you want to be aware of is that you don't have too much of the same flavor in the same spot on the plate. So spread your shards around. Sorrels, I like to start like bigger leaves on the bottom and kind of build up. Sorrels, mustards. Save the mint, more mustards, put over here. Swiss shards. Oop. We go. All right. More sorrels. It's hard to have too much sorrel. Okay. All right. So the orpin. This super juicy. I do like to break these up a little bit because they can stand on their own as individual leaves because they are so juicy. It's actually the first orphan I've eaten this year. Delicious. All right. If I'm working a little fast, just because I feel like I haven't worked service for a long time, and I don't know, that rush of just moving fast and feeling like when you're really busy and you're not gonna make it, it's gonna get addicting. All right, so shoots of cabbage again. Space these out. These are also super juicy. A lot of texture in these as well. You have a lot of leafy stuff, so you need the stuff like the cabbage to give you texture. We'll throw in some more mustards here for the top, and of course, we find this is the one right here. That piece of fennel that looks like the tail of something is going to be so delicious. Spread that out from the other ones. All right, throw some of those, bit of parsley and a bit of the ground elder in there for bitterness, a bit of saltiness. Some more mustards over the top. And now, the spearmint, or as we like to refer to this as the activator. Again, not too many pieces. You don't want to overpower the dish. All right, then remember these little guys are borage flowers, tasted of cucumber. Those over the top. Again, spreading those out. Take the time. All right, we also have our little bit of mosh flowers, the juiciness, kind of lettucey flavor. And for a little pop, our onion flowers. Go. And then, finally, our calendula flowers. I'm gonna take these little tricks so they don't stick together, put them in your hand, shake them up, let them rain. Two flowers looks like it'll be enough. Spread them out over the top. All right. So now we have a nice salad, nice emulsion, sweetness, bitterness, sourness, saltiness. Now we're gonna do a little activation here. So this is pork loin that we've air dried, smoked and air dried. So it's pretty hard, almost like bonito when you cure it, or katsubushi, but with pork. We're gonna take this, we're gonna shave this over the top. Don't be afraid to get it on the table, as long as you clean it up afterwards. It's gonna give everything just a bit of meatiness, a bit of depth to it. All right, and I have one more thing. And a little more richness to the dish. So, these are egg yolks that we cure in a bergamot skin miso. So all the skins left from our bergamot, we shave, make a miso out of it, and then we pack the egg yolks in that for about 3 days to let them cure. This, right over the top, this will give it a bit of more richness. Whoops, slippery suckers. You can never have too much of this egg. I promise you that. All right. Boom. So, salad of spicy, sweet, acidic, salty herbs from the garden at Amass. Emulsion of preserved tomato. We have smoked and dried pork loin and miso cured egg yolk. definitely something that you can do at home. I know a lot of people are farming, or what some of my friends call farming on their balconies in Copenhagen, just growing loads of different stuff. I know people that live out of the city that have a bit more space are planting loads of vegetables right now when everyone kind of has a little more time on their hands than normal. So don't be afraid to really take into consideration what you are planting and the flavor that it's going to produce, and you can basically plant your own salad. So I hope you guys enjoy. I will see you at Amass as soon as we're allowed to open. Thank you.